Welcome back to Nurse Converse. My name is Mel, a former pediatric nurse turned two-time Best of Nursing Award winner. And with me, I have Jahnik and Hannah. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about Nurse.org's Nurse Appreciation Nights. In case you missed it, Nurse.org partnered with the Chicago Fire for an unforgettable Nurse Appreciation Night. We were honored on the field, we watched warm-ups, and we even saw Jahnik be a part of the coin toss, which was really exciting. And overall, it was just a huge celebration of nursing. Hannah and Jahnik were one of the few people that we celebrated with in Chicago, and I wanted to get to know you guys a little bit better. And Hannah, we'll start with you. I have a couple questions. First off, if you want to tell us your name, your nursing background, either your credentials or your specialties, and how long you've been in Chicago, and what part of nursing fills your cup.
So hi, my name is Hannah. I'm currently a nurse in Chicago. I actually work PRN at a hospital a little bit outside the city. I'm PRN, so I kind of float all over the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm also a flight attendant too, and then I also work at a med spa as a nurse, and then I also work at a postnatal retreat too, so I get to work with babies and their families postpartum, which is amazing. And I love nursing because truly I've been in Chicago for 2 years. So from nursing, I've just literally met the most amazing people. Mel, you being one of them, Jahnik, you another. The community is so amazing, and I really truly believe that nurses are some of the most interesting, hardworking, awesome people ever.
I couldn't agree more, and I love everything that you said about the community. I think that we're definitely going to be highlighting a lot of community here in this episode, and I love that you included that in your what fills your cup, because it definitely fills my cup too, so I'm glad that we're on the same page here. But Jahnik, did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name's Jahnik. I am also a nurse based in Chicago. I work PRN also within the city at one of the level 1 traumas. My background is cardiac tele, and I've been doing that as a nurse for about 5 years now, but I had a strong base as a CNA for about 7 years prior to becoming a nurse.
Love that.
So I've been a nurse for 5 years. Today is actually my graduating nursing school anniversary. So this is like a full circle moment. Thank you. I was looking through my memories and that popped up. Yeah.
So that means that you graduated in 2020?
I'm sorry, 6 years of finishing nursing school.
Okay,
6
amazing.
years. Yeah,
Good
so I was like,
you.
this is kind of like a full circle moment. I saw that before I hopped on. But before I became a nurse, I was a CNA for 7 years in cardiac tele, so I have a strong background there. And I've been doing the PRN at home for, it's coming up on a year next week. I was doing travel for 4 years before I came back and made home, my home base for a little bit. What fills my cup? I would say I don't want to sound cliche, but the community as well. I always aspired to have this big old group of nursing friends, this big old nursing family. And I feel like I found it, and it just really fills my heart. It just makes my heart smile because it just makes a difference when you have a group of people and a group of friends that just get what you're going through and the day to day. It makes such a difference. So definitely the community, and like I said, meeting you guys, we all met. Ironically, we were all in the same area and didn't know it earlier this year. We all met.
Yeah, we were all on the nurse con at sea, but we didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's our invisible string.
Yeah, that's so funny. But just meeting different people, and we're all essentially home base is Chicago for me, but Hannah moved to Chicago, and then Mel, I came and found you.
Yes, you did. I live in Milwaukee, so I'm a little bit north of Chicago, but yeah, Jahnik found me came to one of my events this year.
That was so sweet.
I know. Yeah. It literally warmed my heart so much. I almost cried when she was there. I was like, wait, you drove from Chicago?
Yeah. I mean, I just really love meeting different people. And if I can be there and try to be there to the different healthcare and specifically nurse things, I try to get there if I can.
It's a beautiful thing. I say this all the time that we are all in this together, and nursing specifically, especially after the COVID pandemic, we went through a lot. And I feel like you said, there's nobody else that gets it besides other fellow nurses. And I have to thank Nurse.org, and we have to shout them out big because they are the sole reason, at least in my opinion, why like nursing community is really like amplified right now. And that's, I mean, that's how I found a magnitude of my community is through Nurse.org and through events like these nurse appreciation nights. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And I don't want to get too emotional, but I'm just so appreciative of both of you for all the work that you do in your nursing career and outside of nursing, because that's another thing that all three of us do is we are creative outside of our bedside role, and I think that's just is so cool. And with the community aspect, I wanted to just touch a little bit about the Nurse Appreciation Nights in case nobody knows, but they've been starting these. I think this is like their 4th or 5th year doing these Nurse Appreciation Nights, and they collaborate with different teams all across the country, either MLB, they've done NHL. We just had our first MLS soccer game that we were at. They are also doing NBA, WNBA. So they're covering literally every sport, and they're offering different nurse appreciation nights around the country all year long. And we have a couple coming up in November and December. If you want to learn more about a nurse appreciation night near you, just go to nurse.org/nurse night. So I have a question for both of you. When did you first learn about the Chicago Nurse Appreciation Night, and what was your first reaction?
So Mel, learned about it from you, kind of like when everything was coming into the works. My initial reaction was I was like super excited. I was like, this is so fun. This is a great way to like celebrate and honor nurses. So I was just like ecstatic when I found out about it.
I love that. And I immediately thought of you because they were like, do you know any nurses in Chicago? I was like, yes, I know Hannah and I know Jahnik. And Jahnik, I want to hear about your story because you were honored on the field.
Yeah.
You were one of the honorees.
So I knew about the games, and I didn't know about the soccer game. Ironically enough, I went to my first Chicago Fire soccer game, I think back in July.
Oh,
And
fun.
it was my first time. They had Chance the Rapper was performing after. So I was like, oh,
That's
I want to
right.
go
We
to
talked
the
about
soccer
it.
game. Yeah. And I was like, oh, let's go to this game. It's a free Chance concert after. And then they also do like a really big all white party in the summer that I was trying to get to. And I didn't find out until the last minute. So once I went down my rabbit hole, I was like, oh, Nurse.org is hosting Nurses Appreciation Night. And then I was able to join you guys, and it's like, oh well, I'm gonna go to the game. Let's see if we can get honored that night. And
Yeah.
that went like really well. I was just going off on a whim, and I was like, well, let's just see what happens. And I actually ended up winning. So that was just like everybody's like, well, how does it feel? I'm like, it's just like so surreal because I just was like, oh, let's just see what'll happen. And I
Yeah.
actually ended up winning and got to do the coin toss with the captains, and that was just so. It was like a rush. Like it was, they were
They were just
moving on that
going.
field. Yeah, and we were like right, like on the field.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like the lights, the cameras, everything that you hear about being on the stadiums, being on the field was like is what that night felt like. And I'm still
Yeah.
like I sit back and I'm just like looking at all the memories and I'm like, oh,
It's like that
it
happened.
was yeah, it was really I mean, I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I could do it all over again, it was a
Same
really
time
great
next
night.
week?
Yeah.
Same
Right.
time next week?
Same time next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
I
was a
love
really great
that.
experience. Yeah. It was a
I
very like
agree.
yeah, and then meeting the other nurses from Chicago. There were two other nurse honorees, and I'm like, Chicago is so big, but so small, but so big. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, who are these nurses? I'm like, I don't know these names.
Yeah.
And I worked at a lot of hospitals in the area, being a travel nurse. And I mean, I can't know everybody, but I was like, oh, that gives me a chance to know more of the nurses in the city that I'm in. So that was really nice to connect with more of the nurses that are in Chicago too.
I agree. And what I think is so cool that Nurse.org does is that they do these honoree systems at every single game. So you are able, if you're in the area, you can either nominate yourself or you can nominate a friend. And then a voting process happens. And at the end, we have a winner honoree who gets to do something extra cool and special. I know for the hockey games, they usually get to ride the Zamboni, which is pretty cool.
That's super fun.
So definitely take a look at that link if you guys are interested.
Another cool thing that I thought, and I don't know, I think you guys might have heard of it before, but there's this thing, um, and I hope it's okay to say about like the daisies. So there's like the wilted daisy, and we actually got those on the cruise, and I have one that I have on my work badge, and I always
Yep.
joke and say I'm not necessarily, I've never won a daisy, so I felt like this honor, being honored was
Yes.
kind of like a daisy moment for me outside of the hospital. Everybody doesn't win a daisy on a daily. So this is just another way outside of the hospital that we can be recognized. So I think that's really cool that Nurse.org gives us this opportunity.
I couldn't agree more. I think that appreciation and honoring nurses has definitely kind of fallen through the cracks. Just a little side tangent. I know for me, when COVID hit, nurses were heroes. And then I don't know what happened. And we don't get the type of honoring that we should.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Nurses Week, there was such a big commotion about nurses were expecting free stuff and it was just a lot. Yeah. So totally.
Just to feel, because I mean, as humans, we like to feel good and we like to feel special and to be honored for the hard work that we do. And it is just so cool to see you and other Chicago nurses get that moment and get their soccer daisy, so to speak. Was there a specific moment for either of you? Jahnik, I feel like I kind of know the answer to this question based off of what you just said, but is there a specific moment that made you feel proud to be a nurse that night? Hannah, did you want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So first of all, so I played soccer in high school and college, during nursing
Yeah.
school. So that was such a full circle moment for me. I feel like I was getting so teary eyed the whole night.
We're so
But
giddy on the
yeah, I
sidelines. We
was just
were like,
so happy. Honestly, I feel with when I met Janique and the two other nurses that were there, we were all up together in the suite that we were sitting in. I was just sitting there and I was I'm so proud to be a nurse because obviously you're just surrounded by these amazing other nurses who are amazing people. We got to meet their families and just
yes.
everyone was so sweet, so nice, such good vibes. And I was I'm so proud to be a nurse, be a part of this profession, and meet these amazing people.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of my special moments, because I haven't practiced nursing in almost 2 years now because of a back injury that I had. But one of the moments for me that made me proud to be a nurse is when we were walking up to the sidelines. When I think, Janique, you were on the field at this point, but there were these little kids, Hannah, and they were so excited to give us high fives and fist bumps. And we gave them some of our little signs that said lifesaver and things like that. And we took that super fun picture with them. But because I was a pediatric nurse, I'm it brings my heart so much joy to get to put smiles on people's faces and especially little kiddos. And I know we had a little one with us during the whole time and he was so fun. Janique, did you have a special moment besides the coin toss and being honored?
Um, I would say the surreal moment of coming out, we did the tunnel walk so we got to come out of the tunnel right before the team did, and then so to see them come out after us, and then there was
That was
another
really cool.
group of healthcare professionals that were there, the two guys that got honored with us.
Yeah.
And they were coming back. I think at one point they didn't know that we were all supposed to be together, and they're like, "Yeah, we were the nurses." And they said that I don't know if you guys caught it. They said that a few times, and I'm like, "Oh, we're special."
They did, yes. In
Yeah,
Soldier Field with
yeah,
thousands of people. And we played Toronto. Another thing, we got to hear both of the national anthems of USA and
yeah.
Canada.
That was
So
beautiful. I was tearing up during that too.
with the fireworks.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. And then being down there with the actual those the fire that they do, the Chicago fire that comes up.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's real
They were
fire.
doing
And
a
then,
whole little ceremony over by us in the
yeah,
corner. They were like axing things and pulling fire
Yeah.
alarms, and they were
yeah,
doing a whole kit and caboodle.
yeah. So it was nice to like be right there, eye level, and see it. Like I said, I had just went to a game, and so being there, I'm like, this is what we miss being up there. So
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a great experience.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. So I think for me, the nurse appreciation nights can be described in 3 words, right? Community, connection, appreciation. My question to you both as Chicago nurses is, why do you think that events like this matter for nurses right now, specifically?
So for me, when me being an honoree, um, it's been different trying to. I don't know if either any of you have traveled before, if either you had done travel nursing, but
I have
there's
not
this
done
thing
travel
over.
nursing.
You Hannah, you have Hannah. No,
No, no.
no.
I was no, not
Okay,
really. I wouldn't say like probably to the extent where I could like speak on it.
okay. So like as travel nurses, there's this thing where when we go into these facilities, we're not necessarily treated as staff. We're treated like outsiders, even though we're there for however long we're there. They don't include us. Like I've been at places where I've literally worked for Nurses Week, and they come through whatever they're celebrating the nurses with, and they'll say the travelers are not included. So
Mm,
this is my first time I've been back staff in 4 years. So the bulk of my career I haven't been staff. But I say that to say, even though I'm staff now, I still don't quite feel the appreciation. I say that specifically because I tried to push this with my employer,
mm-hmm.
um, and it didn't like they didn't support it. They didn't support me with this. So being supported, my support came from um, outside of my employer, and that just goes to show how underappreciated we kind of are in our workspaces. So that's why I think that these outside communities um, are really important. And
Yes.
Nurse.org, from what I noticed with them, the face of them are the nurses. Like you don't really see a lot of whoever works for Nurse.org.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
we know who some of those, you don't see them. Like if you look on their pages, you don't see and hear for them a lot.
It's
It's
nurses.
literally nurse driven. Yeah. And so I love that. And a lot of things, most things are like I call them like people choice awards, like the nurse appreciation honorees were because other nurses and other people from the community voted. It was nothing that Nurse.org like specifically picked these people.
Right.
So I feel
It's
like
all
it's more,
nurse
I feel
driven.
like it's more genuine. Yeah, it's more
Yes.
genuine, it's more authentic. So that's why I feel like these outer communities that are not attached to employers are so important, and they make a difference because a lot of people don't know they exist. They think that
I
all
agree.
that we have is the community of our employees, which are not that good. I went to work. I didn't even work Nurses Week because I was doing other stuff. But I went back to work. They gave us T-shirts. But we got honored and were sent to Soldier Field,
Mm-hmm.
as appreciation. So you kind of see the difference in the support, I guess.
Yeah. No,
So
I
it's needed.
I resonate with what you said so much. My previous employer was not very supportive, and I tried going in with my sunshine and my smile and appreciation, and it wasn't met very well.
Hmm.
And I think that employers, unfortunately, have certain other things on their minds that are at the forefront before nurse appreciation. So that's why I agree with you that outside support and communities like Nurse.org are so important. And they highlight nurses and what we're doing outside of the bedside and at the bedside. And it's such a beautiful thing. Hannah, what about you?
For sure, I definitely think events like this are super important for nurses. Because I again, like I don't think there is a lot going on like in the hospitals to support nurses. So then, like when you do these events outside of the hospital, you see the community of nurses, you see the things that are like going on outside the hospital, and the morale I feel like is so much stronger outside the hospital, obviously outside of work. But when you can connect with people and do these events, it is like, oh wow, people do appreciate me. Oh wow, there's other people maybe dealing with burnout, kind of going through what I'm going through. And again, it's like a great way to connect and like give advice. Like I always give advice to people. I'm like, go PRN, like do something else. Like, I always tell that to people, you got to do what makes you happy. So I feel like these events are also a great way to like learn more about like, oh, what can I do maybe with my nursing career too,
Yeah,
connecting with people.
absolutely. It's so funny that you were talking about with PRN, and I know that I was PRN when I was at the bedside. And I don't know if you guys can feel this way too, but as a PRN, we were appreciated a little bit less than some of the full-time staff.
Mm-hmm.
Can we
Yeah.
agree? Do we
Yeah.
resonate?
Yeah. I mean, you don't get the same definitely treatment or fairness like that the full time,
Right.
even part time staff gets.
Right. So having these events outside and just having the community and the connection, and I think you said camaraderie, or morale boosting, is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of the nurse appreciation nights, this was my second nurse appreciation night, and my first one that I had was I actually went to Cincinnati with Nurse.org, and we went to the Cincinnati Reds game. And unfortunately, my nurse appreciation experience was a little stormed out. We got rained on so bad, but we were able to experience um, going onto the field, going through the tunnel. We got to meet the mascots for the Cincinnati Reds, got to take a bunch of pictures and watch the warm-ups, which is just really cool and exciting. I went back in July of this year, and it was I know that they did end up playing the game, but unfortunately we got rained out, so we had to go. But I know that talking to some people afterwards that did end up staying, that they had an amazing time. And I think the Reds won that game, which is always a good time. And Jahnik, I know that you've been to another nurse appreciation game. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, it was my
Ooh.
first time this year. I went to the Bulls night earlier. I think it was in February, and it
Yeah.
was pretty cool. I was a couple months into my PRN job, and I had met a friend at work, who's actually a new grad, and I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm like, it's Nurse Appreciation Night. I'm like, let's go out, let's celebrate. And the game was actually, I celebrate all of my anniversaries of like my nursing career. So
I
that
love that.
anniversary was when I passed my NCLEX. So when I was
Oh,
officially named a nurse. So I always do something in February, and the game fell on that day. So I'm like, I'm going, whether I go by myself or
perfect.
not. And I had just met this friend, and I said, well, come on. She didn't know about the games. I was like, yeah, they do Nurses Appreciation Night. I'm going to get a gift. We'll make a night of it. And we had so much fun. She does not watch basketball, but I convinced her to go. And it was actually my first like girls' night out to a game, and then it was Nurses Appreciation, my first Nurses Appreciation, and I was getting to celebrate that milestone, and I was just trying to tell her, I'm like, celebrate it all. I said I
Yeah.
celebrate the day I started nursing school,
Yeah.
when I finished school, when I actually walked
Every
the
day is a
stage.
celebration.
Yeah, I was like, so I celebrate them all. So I was telling her, I was like, well, come on. And so now she celebrates her milestones too.
I love
So
that.
we had a good time, and then I saw that some people had the cups from like previous games, the Bulls cups from like
Ooh.
previous games. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do these like
So,
tumblers that are so cute.
yeah. Were you able to see the honorees from the Chicago Bowl game?
I didn't, and you know what?
Okay.
And I just figured out probably why, because they do it before the game. Because I remember I was
Yeah.
like, they didn't appreciate the nurses that night. I didn't see it. It's because it's done before the game.
Yes.
So
And they
I
do
think,
normally shout it out in between, like during the game. Or at least like I heard
uh,
something during halftime for our nurse appreciation game with the Bulls,
yeah,
which was
I was like,
cool.
I didn't catch any like the actual, them being honored
Yeah. Yeah, that's
on the
okay.
court.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, but I thought that was, it was really nice. So now I'm always looking out to see. I'm like, okay, when's the next
yeah.
game? I'm like, which one
One
can I
other
go
thing I do
to?
appreciate about the nurse appreciation nights is that normally they're discounted tickets. And on top of the
Hmm.
discounted tickets, you also get a free gift. And they're
Hmm.
specialized to the nurses that are purchasing that gift, which is really cool. So, like for the Chicago Fire game, we got this super cool scarf that has a bunch of different medical things on it. And it was just
Ensembles.
a really fun gift to have. A nice way
And
to
it matched.
it matched everything. And I
Mhm.
love things like this because it just reminds me of the memories that were made there and the joy and the times that were spent. And it was just a fun little tidbit to add. Hannah, was this your
Mhm.
first Nurse Appreciation Night or have you been to a game?
No, this was my first one that I went to, but I'm definitely going to be on the lookout because I had so much fun. It was such a blast.
What was your favorite part about it?
I loved probably like the national anthem, and I loved again like meeting people, but it was just so fun. Like it was like electric.
It
That's how I
was,
felt. Like I was just like, oh wow, this is so awesome.
especially like the sweet vibes that we got. That
Yeah.
was so
Oh
incredibly
yeah.
kind of Chicago Fire to give us a suite to watch the game. And we had a lot of fun up there.
Yeah, it was so fun.
More memories to be made. And a lot
And I've
more
never.
just connecting with everybody, getting to know one another, and just being humans versus being nurses. You know, like really kind of getting down to it. So that's what I really appreciated. Well, thank you guys so much for having this conversation with me. I loved being able to connect with you guys in the Chicago Fire game with Nurse.org. And I loved being able to kind of recap our night here again and share all of the fun and the appreciation, the connection that we had. And if you are interested in going to one of these games, like I said, you can go to nurse.org/nurse night. And because we honor all these nurses on the field, you can nominate yourself or a friend or a couple friends. It is really cool to see all the appreciation and the amplification that goes on. And I know Jahnik's nomination was really unique. And Jahnik, I would love to hear your thoughts about it.
So I think a lot of people don't know. I think a lot of people don't know about the nominations. So when I found
No.
out about the game, I was like, oh, we can do nominations. And then I saw nominate yourself. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get the ball rolling. And I was like, I'll nominate myself. And then so I started there. But you have to get nominated, and then you have to have people back the nomination. So I
Yeah.
did that, and I just sent it to people and said, "Hey, I'm nominated. Can you go on and keep pushing it?" So that's basically what I did. I actually got myself in the door, but
Yeah.
asked for the support after to get it going. And
Yeah.
like I said, I just went out on a whim with this, and it turned out really well. You'll be surprised where you get the support,
Yeah.
um where you'll
Especially.
get the support from. So definitely, I said this was my Daisy moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely nominate yourself, nominate a friend. Even if you are not attending the game, just so you know, you don't have to be attending the game to nominate yourself. Just nominate, and then when you win, you get tickets and
Yeah.
things like that. So you don't have to already have tickets to the game, either. So I
Right.
think those are a couple things that people may not know
Yeah.
about it.
That's a good point.
But definitely attend a game, even if you're not
Yeah.
into sports. It's a fun night.
It's
It
a
is a
fun
fun
time.
night.
We have a good time. And even if, because I know nurse.org, when they always announce the Nurse Appreciation Night and where they are next, they always open the platform to nominate a nurse. And I know
Hmm.
right now they're actually doing the nominations for the Philly Flyers game that's in November. So if you know a nurse in Philly, or if you're a nurse in Philly and you want the opportunity to be honored and recognized by nurse.org, nominate yourself. Like I said, you can go to nurse.org/nurse night to get more information and sign up and get those discounted tickets. Well, thank you guys so much for listening in and joining in the conversation. I had such a great time, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to let everybody know where they can find you, where they can connect with you. Hannah, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and TikTok. My Instagram handle is just half my name and then Kimmel, Han Kimmel, and then I think if you search my name on TikTok too, I should pop up. But and then I have a YouTube channel too that I do some stuff on too, and that's also
Ooh,
the same as my Instagram handle. So yeah, definitely feel free to reach out.
I love that. Thank you so much. Janique, where can our friends find you?
So I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. They both have the same handle on social, is the_champagne_nurse. And then I also have a YouTube channel, and I post some things up there, and that is just the Champagne Nurse. And yeah, my inbox is always open if you got any questions. If you want to attend a game together, if I'm around,
Yeah.
let me know. And yeah, hope to see you
Janique, do you
guys
want to talk
at
about your
one of the games.
business? Want to talk about your business really
Oh, my
quick?
community. Yes.
Yes.
So in Chicago, I am growing a nurse community, Nurses on Wine and Elevate. We're based in Chicago, but you can find me hosting in different cities every now and then. So it's a community of nurses, primarily. We target nurses, but it's always open to all healthcare professionals, and it's just a way for us to get out outside of the bedside, outside of work, and socialize together. We have those networking opportunities. It's actually started with me just hosting a nurses appreciation event back in May. Hosted a Nurses Week event, and a couple people couldn't attend. So I said, okay, I'll just host like a little mixer during Nurses Week again for people to attend. And it went well. And so I've been hosting them every month now. I call them
That's
little mini
incredible.
mixers, and we get together, and it's always different people. Like I said, it's a mix of nurses and other healthcare professionals and friends sometimes, but we get to meet together, and it's social, but we network. Like I met Hannah, talked to Hannah. We talked about, her flight attendant career, which I'm also looking into. So to get in and find out like different things you can do, like how we're beating burnout and things like that. We have a Facebook page that I just revamped. It's Nurses on Wine and Elevate, and we also have a Instagram page, Nurses on Wine, the letter N, Elevate, and all of those you can find on my main social page. And like I said,
Amazing.
a lot of times I'm in different cities. Most things are in Chicago. We have our upcoming event November 15th in Chicago. We're doing our
Nice.
first Nurse Giving, so that's
I'm trying to
exciting.
come to that. I'm trying to
You
move
know,
my
I want to
schedule
come
around. I
too.
was like, I want to come so
Oh, I would
I
love
want to
to
go.
have. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys will make me cry. No, I would really love to get you guys there.
Sign me up. Where do I sign?
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be
I
nice.
love that.
So all that information is posted on my Instagram page. The links are there for that. So come and join us. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon at one of
Yes.
our NUE events.
I love that. Thank you so much, guys. And you
Thank
can find
you.
me on Instagram and TikTok, Facebook. I am starting a YouTube channel very soon, so keep an eye lookout for that. But my tag is the same on every platform. It's at mels.crafty.corner. And you can also find really cool Nurse.org apparel for these in Nurse Appreciation Games. Nurse.org and I partnered to create these t-shirts. And if you don't know, I own shopmelscraftycorner.com, and I make t-shirts and stickers for nurses, different units all across the country. And I've had so much fun making and creating different things for nurses to help themselves look and feel good on and off the floor. And using my nursing license in a more creative way, I also host some events, not monthly, but I would love to have more opportunities to get just nurses together and combat burnout and have sense of community and just feel good and supported and uplifted and all the beautiful things. So my inbox is also always open. And if you guys have any questions for any of us, you can leave a comment down below in this podcast episode. And if you liked this episode, leave a rating and review. Tell us how we're doing. And before you go, comment down below and tell us how your day was. It's Thursday for us here. It's sunny. It's getting a little crispy in the fall in the
this cold is
Midwest. And
getting a little chilly.
I know Hannah's got her vest on.
Got my vest, my Patagucci vest.
Patagucci. That's amazing. And if you're a nurse in Chicago, make sure that you share this episode with them and keep an eye out for any nurse appreciation nights coming near you. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.